Hello, my name is Chris and I am a face behind PixiEditor. I would like to talk about changes made in October. There are a lot of them, they are very exciting and I am really happy to show you to them. So let's get started. So the very first thing is the brush engine. It is still work in progress, but it's already usable. I have a lot of fun playing with it. Really, there is no other system I had so much fun to play with in the previous months. It's not typical because it is based on the node graph, so as you can imagine it's really powerful. I managed to replace brightness, eraser and pen tool to be fully driven by it. Let's take a look at this pixel square brush. It's very simple, so it's a great example. Here we have a rectangle node that is set to be a shape of the brush output, meaning that the brush will use rectangle as its shape, basically. The size of the rectangle is set to be stroke width, which means that whenever you change the tool size in here, the size of the rectangle will change. Editor info is a node that contains a data about some of the PixiEditor stuff. So, for example, here we have a primary color, which is bound to be this main rectangle. So whenever I make it red, then the fill of the brush will be also red. The last node in this brush is a pointer info. Pointer info contains all the data about your current pointer. It could be a mouse or a digital pen. And here I am binding pressure to a brush's pressure, which means that whenever I use digital pen, the pressure value of the digital pen will be set to a brush. And the very last thing in this brush that is quite important, because it's a pixel brush, it needs to snap to pixels. Otherwise, we would have a anti-aliasing in here. But the brush engine is much more capable than that. You can sample textures, access other layers, create custom shaders, and use all the features of PixiEditor's node graph. I'll create a separate video about it once it's ready to test. So you know the concept of toolsets in PixiEditor. You can switch the toolset at any time and it will show different tools. Those tools have different configurations, anti-aliasing and so on. So let me show you a little something. I'm gonna create a new file, 64 by 64 is fine. Then I'm gonna go to the node graph. When I drag my mouse, we have a beautiful gradient. I can start anywhere and go from the left to the right. I mean, it's not really beautiful. I can change colors. Yeah, this is a little more pleasant. And we've made a gradient tool with brush engine. But wait, do I really need to pick my pen tool and choose the gradient brush each time I want to make a gradient? Wouldn't it be easier to just click in the toolset? Exactly. And this is why I made configurable toolsets. You can make any brush with your brush engine and set it as a simple tool, basically. So right now there is no UI for that. But if we save this file as .pixie, go to PixiEditor local settings and create a simple configuration file, we can easily add this to our toolset. We can even define new toolsets, change the icons of the default toolsets and overwrite all the settings. You may have noticed a new UI element in the node graph. You can see it in the top left of the viewport. This, my friend, is a blackboard. It is a way to define constants of the node graph, brush settings, and also document inputs. And this way we can smoothly transition to the next major feature of this month, nested documents. In the simplest words, you can embed Pixie file inside another Pixie file. It will appear as another layer. It is synchronized with the original file, so whenever you make changes to the nested file, the parent will update. You can also connect your node graph to the nested nodes input. So whatever you define in the blackboard of the original file, it will be exposed as an input when embedded into the other file. Nested documents automatically opened a possibility to embed any supported file that PixiEditor can open inside your document. So it applies to SVGs, TFFs, OTFs, and any other future formats that might be added to PixiEditor. Okay, so there are a few things I didn't mention. Up to this point in version 2.0.1.7, PixiEditor applies brush strokes at the center of a pixel, meaning that if you are between pixels, PixiEditor will round your position to the nearest pixel, to the center of it. And this works fine for pixel art, and it is actually required for it, but for digital painting and anti-alias brushes, it's unacceptable. Look, with integer coordinates, the paint is always applied the same, no matter how much I move my mouse within 1 pixel. But with precise coordinates, whenever I move my mouse within this pixel, with 0% spacing enabled, the anti-aliasing is applied differently. This is a very work-in-progress feature, but if PixiEditor aims to be a digital painting app, having a stabilizer is pretty much required for some people. Not everyone likes them, that's why it will be a toggleable setting. At the moment I am working on time-based stabilization, however I plan to experiment with rope circle stabilization too. There is a debate in the graphics community which one is better, that's why I plan to include both. Chris, you may ask me, what is the current status of the brush engine? I would really want to publish the very first version of the brush engine on development branch this month, I mean November, but I can't promise that. The whole system needs polish, some UIs and bug fixes. Even though PixiEditor supports using external apps to edit strings, for example it is useful for shaders, I found myself using the embedded built-in one much more often. I rarely opened Visual Studio Code, for example, so I spent some time and improved the embedded string editor. It now contains syntax highlighting for shaders, line numbers, copyable error messages and some bug fixes.
PixiEditor is fully community-backed project. I couldn't work on it and keep improving it if not all of you. If you would like to support our work, please consider purchasing Founders Bundle, spread the word about the project, keep giving feedback. We deserve an open creative software without any strings attached. Thank you and see you in the next status update.